Today we're covering 4 routing techniques: edge routing, plunge cuts, surface routing, and flush trimming. Edge routing refers to specifically routing the edges of stock. As a general rule of thumb, it's always good to make multiple passes. For instance, when using bits like the cove bit, it's not a good idea to make the cut all at once, especially if you're choosing a deep profile like this, but rather make multiple passes, slowly working towards your finished depth. That way it's easier on the router, the bit, and it generally produces a cleaner cut. But not all bits allow you to do that. For example, this edge beating bit doesn't allow for it. So this is what it looks like after making one pass. Then after I lower the bit to make the final pass, you can see now how the beating profile is ruined because the first pass removed material that ultimately needed to stay. Therefore, when getting started using different bits, get in the habit of dry running the bits, first by holding the bit profile next to the wood and simply raising it, lowering it so you can visually see the effects of taking multiple passes. Before we move on to number 2, I want to quickly remind you to always feed the router against the bit rotation, which is clockwise, by pushing the router from left to right through the material. Now, if that's new information to you, then take the time now to go back and watch the video I did on router basics. I'll leave a link up above and down in the notes section. Also, if you're new to the channel, new to me, we talk everything carpentry. So if you're interested in learning more, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out. Moving on to the plunge cut. The plunge cut is done by using a plunge router. The main difference between the router you just saw me use and this one is its ability to be adjusted during the cut as the bit is rotating. 2 great examples of plunge cuts can be making holes in the surface of the material, or 2 by using a keyhole bit, which is used in the back of picture frames for mounting to the wall. An important point to make here about this technique is to be sure to use a straight edge guide and stop blocks so that you can control your stops and starts as well as maintain a straight cut. Next up is surface routing. Surface routing is just as it sounds, cutting shapes into the surface or the face of the material. Here you can see I've attached a straight edge guide for my router base to follow, helping me to keep the router straight along the length of its cut. In addition, I've used a stop block so that while I'm routing this dado, I can stop exactly where I want to, creating in this case a stopped dado. Lastly is flush trimming. This technique is used to trim plastic laminates, veneers, and in the woodworking world is to follow templates. As an example, I've taken a piece of 3/4 base material, added glue, and overlaid that with a piece of 1/4 inch. In order to trim now the 1/4 inch flush with the base material, I'll use a flush trimming bit. Here you can see that the bearing of the bit is actually flush with the cutters, so that as this bit cuts, it cuts flush with the base material or the piece that the bearing is routing against. Just make sure that you're routing in the proper direction and that your feed rate is slow and steady during the cut. Well, there you have it. Those are the 4 routing techniques. I hope you've been able to learn a few ideas to help you move forward. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and if you're interested in learning how all these techniques transfer over to the router table, let me know in the comment section below. See you in the next video.